I found it so fascinating as I'm teaching in Good News Club. I'm teaching the story of Joseph again. I think I've taught it also 6 years ago as well. And we're in the beginning part of it, but obviously, I know the whole story. You probably know the whole story as well, and how God used an unfortunate circumstance for his good and for his purposes. As we know, the nation of Israel had three patriarchs: Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. Jacob then had 12 sons, and two of those sons were from his favorite wife, Rachel, and one of those sons was Joseph. Joseph, he really, really favored, even gave him a robe of many colors, showing that he was going to be a manager over his other brothers who were older than him. Joseph also had a dream that the stars and the sun and the moon, that is the Joseph's brothers and also his father and mother, would bow down to him. And then another dream in which these 12 sheaves of wheat would also bow down to Joseph. These dreams were given to Joseph by God, but Joseph's brothers hated him because of that. One day we know that Joseph was asked by Jacob to go out and see how his brothers were doing as they were taking care of their livestock. And as Joseph went 50 miles away, just imagine he walked 50 miles away, when he was still far off, his brothers saw him with that multicolored robe again, and they hated him in his heart. They were going to kill him, but the oldest brother, who was Reuben, said, "Don't do that. What good is that going to do for us?" So they threw him into a pit. But then later on, the brothers, when Reuben was gone, sold him to the Midianites as a slave, and then tricked their father, Jacob, that they said he had been killed by a wild animal. And obviously that didn't happen. And as you know, the story goes on from there. Joseph was blessed in Potiphar's house. Then he was sent into prison for a false accusation. And then in prison, he interpreted two different dreams, and then later interpreted Pharaoh's dream as well, Pharaoh over Egypt. And when that happened, Joseph then became number two in control over all of Egypt. Later on, there was a famine in Egypt. God used Joseph as he interpreted those dreams in order to save food for really the whole known world at that time. But his 12 brothers, well, actually, not the 12 brothers, the 10 brothers went up, and as Jacob asked them to get food, and after this time, if they did that, a couple times, some things happened, and then eventually Joseph brought all of his family up into Egypt, to the land of Goshen, took care of them. Jacob, his father, eventually died. And then it says this, and this is what I wanted to read. This is what I wanted to get to, because all these unfortunate circumstances, they were evil things. The favoritism that Jacob showed Joseph, the selling into slavery of Joseph, the unfortunate circumstance of being falsely accused was also evil as well. But this is what I love. Here in Genesis chapter 50, it says this: "As for you, Joseph's brothers, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." And that's what I want to encourage you with. We may see wars in different countries. We may see the inflation in our own country. You may see death and disease in your own family. There may be some other unfortunate and even evil circumstances. But realize this: God can use what is evil for the good, for his good, for his purposes, for his plans. Don't trust in what you see out in the world or even in your own lives. Trust in God, who is sovereign or in control, He has everything in the palm of his hand, even your very own life. Thank him for that and trust him. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have a great rest of the week. Thank you.